Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Hello and welcome to the special International Women's Day 2024 broadcast on Enterprise TV. I am Olajumoke Alaode James. As part of our contribution to the cause of women globally, Enterprise TV is proudly curating this interview series in 3 parts with women from the 100 Women Lobby Group, a watchdog for women's rights and a catalyst for their participation in politics, and this being the first edition. Let's then begin by paying special tribute to the more than 4 billion women worldwide who bring beauty and substance to their spaces and whose dreams and aspirations are turning more and more countries into havens for prosperity and human well-being. 3 of them are here with me in the studio right now. You're very welcome to the Enterprise TV special. Abosede Agwe, Deputy State Coordinator, 100 Women Lobby Group. You're welcome. Clara Elaho, a member, and Tinu Odugbemi, member, and also pastor.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I'm going to start with you quickly to know. So we say 100 women lobby group. Is it 100 or 100 women lobby group? And what's the difference?
Okay. The idea is that you gather a group of women to lobby.
Okay.
And so we decided to say 100.
Okay.
If you say 100, it could mean that, they're the same thing. But when you say one, that's emphasis, just like we look for 35% affirmative action and all that. But that 100 means you gather a group of 100 women together, and they can actually go lobby in their environment. Sometimes we have less than that, but the minimum standard is we should be able to have 100 women who would team up together and work on a cause to lobby for a position, lobby somebody in the women, men, to join the cause we are promoting.
Okay. So you speak about the 35% affirmative action, and your group, 100 Women Lobby Group, is a group that encourages women, right, to go into politics. Why is Nigeria unable to achieve 35% affirmative action? President Jonathan tried. His cabinet was filled with, well, not exactly filled with women, but we had 35% of women in his cabinet, just to meet this. Why is Nigeria unable, since President Jonathan, to achieve 35% affirmative action? Do you want to go answer that question?
Not just Nigeria. This is something that has been on for a while, with having the women come to the forefront. But I think the men are biased, so to say. Nigeria is not excluded.
Okay.
But we have the men trying to put the women at the background. Like for our culturally now in Nigeria, we see that they tell you the woman's place is at the back. And so for us as the 100 Women Lobby, we are trying to lobby to get a spot where we should be politically and otherwise. It's something that has been going on for a while, fighting for the women. And we'll keep doing that. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Jonathan tried, I don't know how it was in the other governments, but we are still far from where we ought to and want to be as women. So we are taking that as, something we are actually trying to push forward. It's going to be tough, I tell you. They've been pushing through the governments, through the years, but we're still not there. There's a lot.
Do women really want to be there? Why do I ask this question? Women are nurturers, right? The reason we're told culturally that we're supposed to be behind is because a woman gets pregnant, she wants to take care, you want to nurse your child, so while the men were the hunters and they went out, we stayed back home, and took care of the home. Why I asked the question that do women really want to be forefront, except you're a grandmother and all your children have left home. Most women are held back by, I have children at home, I'm not going to be out till 1 a.m. 1 a.m. having meetings, you know, I'm not going to go and leave my family, leave my husband to mates, right? And go traveling from one state to the other or one local government to the other saying that I'm campaigning, you know, for any posts. So do women really want to be there, or because of we are nurturers, we are held back?
In terms of want, I think want is quite individualistic, first of all. And then because the world generally is patriarchal, whether you will like it or not. You know, we have a good fraction of leadership roles, you know, of political placements, all being, you know, slotted towards the male gender. You know, so this alone can, of course, discourage the women. But then there are matriarchs who want to prove that what a man can do, a woman can do almost sometimes, you know. So I think it should be left for individuals. But to say that there is a stereotype that gives the woman the back place, if, for instance, destiny puts you in a place of leadership and society disadvantages you because of the norms and cultural practices, then that is not fair to happen to you, whether you're a man or a woman. You know, so for women, I think it's important to know what a woman really wants to do, and nothing should hinder her from that vision. But again, because of the role that God has given to us as women, as mothers, who carry pregnancies, who are domesticated to take care of the home, then of course that puts a toll on you in terms of taking on additional responsibility.
Very true.
But then if you have capacity for multitasking, why not?
Why
we have
not?
the embody wearers, we have for Alakija, we have these women, we have what's her name?
Grandmothers. Grandmothers.
Grandmothers. Someone like Ibuku started, long ago, right? I mean, she has a lot of children, you know. This one, she's a newscaster. I mean, you know what the job is like. You're almost there all the time. She has a lot of children, but she succeeded as a good mother and as a successful wife. You understand? So if you have the ability, especially when you have the cooperation of a man who understands that you have a gift and you need to run with it, then of course you should be able to do as much as you desire to do.
Okay.
I also think, I'm going to add to what she's saying. I think it goes down to the grassroots. I've listened to the story of Alakija. I've been in one of her programs, and I hear that her story right from her youth. Now, I run a school, I have a school, and I realize that the women, the ladies, the girls in my school most times are laid back. I want to push them. You find out parents who come, they prefer the male child. I have more male in my school than ladies, than girls. And you find the fathers, I think I went to talk about culture and say, oh, all these girls, after a while, they will go and get married, they will not take my name, they will not, and we try to educate our parents. That shouldn't be, you cannot have your daughter, at home, or doing a trade. Oh, she's going to learn how to make hair, or rather she does that, and then you send your male child to the school. So if you begin to change their mindset, right from, if you hear Alakija's story, she tells you right from when she was a young girl, she had to push, she made up her mind and all of that. So if we have the orientation, we orientate our parents, and then the girl child as well, why they need to be out there. Bring yourself out. Go out there. Don't say, oh, the boys have done it. Now you find some girls in the school say, the boys have done it, let's leave them. I said, no, don't leave them. Push. You're a girl. You have the same quality, the same opportunity as the boys. So I think we need to tackle it from that end and let the women know, the girls into young women, adults, know that, look, I can do it. I can get that position. Why can't I be a president? Why can't I do this? Why, And they say, no, it's for the boys now. They are boys. And you ask these girls, why you say, no, they are boys now. And yes. So I think we need to take it from the grassroots. We need to go down and start training these children, these girls.
Okay, let's start from the theme of the International Women's Day Celebration 2024, which is to inspire inclusion. Right?
Can we do this sign? Can we all make this sign, please? Inspire inclusion. Yes.
Inspire inclusion.
You're covering your face. Don't cover your face.
Inspire inclusion.
Inspire inclusion. Yeah.
Okay, while we're inspiring inclusion and asking for 35% affirmative action, right? I believe, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
that we have to start from the grassroots, meaning we have to start from when the women are young girls,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of the reasons why we want to protect the girl child is because we're the weaker vessel, right? Physically,
In quotes.
right? Because it will be difficult for you to hear that a male child was raped by a maid. Not because it is impossible, right? A lot of men, their first sexual experience is with their maids,
Yeah.
right?
Housemates.
Yeah, but it will be difficult to hear that the housemaid raped them. Is sort of coercion, you know. But for the girl, you know, the uncles, the driver, the school
it happens a
teacher,
lot. It happens
you
a
know,
lot.
it's rampant.
Yeah.
So a parent wants to be a parent and ensure that, whoa, stay
Yeah.
here where I can see you at all times, never leave my side.
Yes.
And that may hinder what the girl child thinks that they can do in future, unlike the boy who's allowed to freely wander, you know. How are we protecting the girl child and saying to the world that we may have been labeled the weaker sex, right? But a society without women in leadership does itself some disservice. How is the 100 Women Lobby Group pushing this message to the larger society?
Well, good night. Okay. I'd like to start by saying, when you ask that, do women want to be there? The question should actually also be, do women deserve to be there?
Oh, definitely you deserve.
Now, when you look at different sectors, that's what the 100 Women Lobby Group has looked at over the years. You find women who are qualified, who are willing to be there, but they are handicapped by different things. One, of course, is who you marry.
Very true.
The choice of your husband, that depends. If a man is solidly behind you, he would let you fly.
True.
He will give you the wings to fly with. We have that. Then secondly, we need to look at other sectors. Have women done well in those sectors? And the answer is yes.
Very true.
So if we have done well in education, we have done well in fashion, in industry, we have done well in politics too, in the sense that they find us as coordinating groups to bank on. They send us to go talk to other women. If we have done well in banking, in finance especially,
Yes, ma'am.
and also in the academia, we have done very well. Then what stops us from doing well?
In politics, I agree.
And when we look at the likes of President Obasanjo and Jonathan, in their time, they gave women wings to fly. They were able to get the right women in the right positions. And so it was quite easy for everyone to see the transparency, to see the service, the quality of service women rendered. And based on that, we thought lobbying, just putting in the right, we have like qualified women. We recommend some. If you don't find, here are some people you can use. And so that should encourage the government to say, okay, I have this pool. Nobody heard about quite a number of those women who are there, who have excelled. How many of us knew about Okonjo-Iweala, for instance?
Before she was brought.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about the NAFTA?
Meaning that if we
Not
look
that,
for the women, we will find them.
Exactly. We look for the
Yes,
right
they are
women
there.
and put them in the right places to be. Then definitely we wouldn't have scandals, we wouldn't have non-performance. And we have those women. And that is what we are saying. In every group of 100 women, you would find qualified women.
Okay. So when we do find the qualified women in every group, I mean in every society, women are almost half of every population. We're more than 50% of the Nigerian population. We're 4 billion all over the world, meaning that we're more than the men. We're more than the men. But when you do find the qualified women, right, the women support them.
Sure.
You remember, what was her name? Sarah Jubril.
Sarah Jubril.
she kept on running to be president of Nigeria. The same PDP that found the right women, right? Because President Obasanjo, President Jonathan were both from the PDP, you know. The same PDP, this woman kept on vying to be president. And you say Sarah Jubrin in their, what they call the meeting where their electorates nominates, you know, a candidate, it would always be one vote.
One vote for her.
She was voting for herself, you know. Because we're more than the men, if we do support ourselves, right, a woman should be president in almost every country, right? But why don't we support ourselves? Why?
Well, you know, like the good book will say, that if the foundation be destroyed, he said, what can the righteous do? What can anybody do when you have the wrong foundation? Our foundation is not a foundation that puts a woman on top. It's a foundation that puts the woman on the back. It's a foundation that makes the woman almost not obvious at all. She's just a number. She's not a person. You know, so that's the foundation. That's the foundation our forefathers raised us with. Maybe the Gen Z may depart from it.
They have departed from it.
There's a bit of liberality.
Yes.
People are not exposed to the potentials of the world. You know, that the world must evolve and it must change. You know, but those of us coming from the background where our mothers were not matriarchs, they were just mothers. And they were relegated to the kitchen or to the bedroom. So when you have that mentality, when you see another woman come up, you are wondering, what is this woman?
Why is she not taking care of her family?
What's she doing? You know, and stay in one place.
So that's why we have to
So that is one. That is why a reorientation is essential,
necessary.
and that is why the 100 Women Lobby Group is fighting hard to make sure that women must stand. Women must see themselves as persons of substance and begin to come out with a joint voice. That's why we said to inspire and to include, the inclusion there. So because we really need to inspire ourselves that we have virtues, we have gifts, we have talents. There are things that we have propensity to do that are even beyond what any man could do. And then you must not allow yourself to be put under. Because it's when you put the candle under a bushel, it will not shine out. The light will not shine. So you must allow yourself to come out and be prominent. You must be able to work against all odds to make what you have come out. So that's the thing, that's the major thing that is making women not support women. You know? But if that begins to die, and we are praying and we're working hard that it dies completely, then women will have support. Imagine if 4 billion women are supporting 4 billion women. That means that you understand what I'm saying?
Very true.
Yes.
We rule the world.
Around the world, we have more women who are president, who are vice president.
True.
I mean, thank God for like Kamala, who came out and said, you know, and that's because she also had a supportive husband.
True.
Husband of vice
president.
How many Nigerian men want to be the husband of the
Like they want to become president
on top. He wants to be the head. You know.
That's an issue.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will further discuss on how to include women and to inspire one another, to keep on supporting one another to be on top. It's still the special edition of International Women's Day 2024 on Enterprise TV. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay with us.
Enterprise TV, your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
And welcome back. We're still on the special edition of the International Women's Day 2024 celebration on Enterprise TV. And I'm still here with 3 members of the 100 Lobby Women Group.
Women Lobby Group.
Women Lobby Group. Fantastic.
Women who are lobbying.
Yes. And the theme for the International Women's Day 2024, once again, is Inspire Inclusion. Right.
Inspire inclusion.
And Mrs. Tina Odubemi did mention before we went on the break that women have some special skills that men do not have. One of those is the ability to multitask. maybe I'm not one of those women, Sha, but I have an auntie. She's talking to two different people at the same time, and she's conducting the two conversations. She's listening and understanding.
Seamlessly.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
She's on the phone and she's, still talking to you, looking at her, and the two conversations, she's handling them well. So women have that ability. And men use it against us that what a man can do, a woman can do better. In terms of corruption, also in politics, when a woman enters, they will be talking about it for years to come, like a Desani. Of course, as a woman, I would say it's easy for you to point at Desani or point at Better Edu when almost every other man is doing it. But you want to come and castigate the women. But we must be able to also encourage ourselves, because we know that a woman, the most you want to do is to buy, your lace or your shoe. We are not. That's all. We are not interested in buying private jets. So women are not as corrupt. Yes, women are not as corrupt. But how do we, particularly your group, encouraging women, encouraging governments to ensure that we have 35% affirmative action? How do we encourage one another to stay pious, to stay righteous, to stand out from the men? If all the men are doing it and they want to corrupt us or co-opt us into the system, right? Because in Nigeria we say you either, if you cannot beat them, you join them, right? How do we encourage ourselves to stay above board? So that when they are pointing and I say, you women, Shebi, look at the Zani there now, look at Better Edu, those kind of finger pointing or mudslinging at women. How do we encourage ourselves to stay above board?
Corruption is not a gender issue. That's what I can tell you. It's not something that is isolated to one particular gender. It's isolated to one particular person. Because one woman has been corrupt doesn't mean that every woman will be corrupt. And the corruption of women is also a reaction to what this society puts up. Where if you don't have money, you are nobody. If you are stealing money, you are somebody. The source of your wealth is not an issue in Nigeria. It is that you have the wealth. So until we have a society that does not put values on vain things like obscene wealth, then of course you have also women who are not driven by those forces. Because when you want power, then you want to belong to one oligarchy. You want to belong to one clique or the other. And these cliques do have conditions. So when you say yes, then you say yes to everything that they are holding. You understand? So women really need to come to the place of advocacy, campaign for good conduct, refuse to be corrupted, refuse to be influenced. Walk away from it. I'd rather walk away from scandal than allow myself to be scandalized. But not many people have that. Especially when you're driven by ambition, you're driven by greed, you're driven by the coercions that come from family and society. You understand? So that's it. Once women can come together and begin to fortify each other, give ourselves financial backing. So many women had money, they didn't give Sarah Jubri to go and campaign. If only she had that, she may have won. You understand? So we need to also put our resources out to support our fellow women.
Okay. You are a pastor, and I mentioned your title as a pastor because my next question is about ensuring that we do not prioritize women going into politics and negate the first role of a woman as a nurturer in the home. In essence, we need to find the balance, because the foundation of any good society is the family system, and the woman is crucial to that. Not that a man cannot raise a child or anything. In fact, we need, both mother and father to raise proper children, well-balanced out children. But while encouraging, because I see while encouraging, educate the girl child, educate the girl child, we sort of started abandoning the male child. Like, don't worry, these ones are already fixed. So while encouraging women, 35% affirmative, eventually we'll say 50%, eventually we'll say it shouldn't be any percentage. A woman is a leader, let's just leave gender out of it. While we are doing that, are we ensuring, particularly from the 100 women lobby group, that our women find a way to balance, that the home front is still very well taken care of while we're pushing, encouraging, inspiring inclusion, that we're not having children coming out of the homes of these women and they're wayward, in the society, becoming a menace, while their parents are doing fantastically, as leaders in the society.
Well, thank you for that. Let me start by saying that a lot of these women who are being pushed forward, looking at their credentials, have been successful in different areas. Let's look at, is it in, like I said earlier, banking, finance, even governance at some levels. Some have been involved in labor unions in their professional associations, and they are well qualified. So they know what it means to go through the rigors of politics. They do know. And a lot of them also understand what their religions do. For instance, we know that in Christianity, you are the center of the home. Everything is based upon you. And so quite a number of these women are qualified. They know what to do. But the issue is, look at where they have done well. Are their children not doing well? Do we look at the great ministers that we have had, good, excellent ministers? Have we had scandals concerning their children? Have we had anything negative about their homes? This is a weapon that the men use against the women, and we want to put a stop to that. Then I want you to know that the 100 Women Lobby Group, in alliance with different funding organizations, have held similar sessions with women politicians. Anytime we have coming up like that, we have programs where we educate them, maintaining balance, home, office, and every other thing. And that also depends on the woman coming out. If you have been able to make it to the top and your children are doing well, then going into politics shouldn't stop you. And why we are lobbying also is that when we have more women, then women can have a voice in when we go out for meetings. A lot of these male politicians enjoy meeting in the night, in the wee hours. But when we have more women, they can influence that.
Okay. My last question to you, ma'am, would be that I hope that we're not lobbying, inspiring, and encouraging women to go into politics just so that we can have a share of the national cake. Right? Because
No.
right now, I think that there are more women in politics. But rather than be in the leadership positions where the ones sharing ashwebi, every campaign is the women who are dancing, where the ones cooking, where, all the fanfare, the women are there. But when it comes to electing or nominating women for the leadership positions, we don't do it because we don't push ourselves to that extent. I'm hoping, and so that's the question to you, that not only have we found that women can do it in every industry, why not in leadership, but we're not just asking for
Tokenism,
or it's not favoritism because we deserve it, right? But tokenism is the right word. And just getting on the table just so we have a share of the national cake. So if the men are taking their own share, let the women also be at the table to take their own share. Are we really about good governance, and providing that as women, or just wanting a share of the national cake?
I think the women are up for good governance. I think if you can manage your home, it says charity begins at home.
Yes.
If you're able to manage your home, you find that it's even the women who manage the home. The men are not always at home. So if you're able to manage your home, you bring up your children rightly, properly, good manners, what stops you from managing the nation? Even in the churches, you find that the same thing happens in our churches, everywhere we are. I always employ women. I don't like employing men because I'm biased about it. They know me. I'm always so biased. Everything has to do with women. in my school. All the teachers I employ who I outsource them.
What have you
Who
men
come-
done for
No. I'm so biased as well. The way the men are biased about the women, they try to push the women down. I also try to push the men down. I have 2 boys and my boys are working.
Okay.
They work on the island, but they know me for that. Mommy, once it's the women, you always, but the men you put them at. But I think the men are also pushing us down. They are so biased. They don't want us to, to get that space, to be at that round table with them. No matter how the women try, sometimes you find out that we are still at the background. So most times women are just so comfortable. Okay, I didn't get it. Let me be sharing the ashwebi and be sharing the rice, abi. But I think for us, we are actually lobbying and pushing ahead to make sure that the women, stay at that position.
Let me quickly add that every role is important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those who even share their ashwebi, they're playing a major role too. We could look at it that, yes, they're just dancing, but that's a way to get into the mainstream. We have seen a lot of women politicians, especially in the Southwest, who started
From sharing ashwebi.
gathering the women together and inching their way upward, learning from the men, sitting and getting and coming out to say, I've done this for quite a while. I would also like to be considered for maybe local government position or something, and they give it to them. Then at that level, they perform excellently well. The men are encouraged, to say, oh yeah, so let's push her forward the more. And we have seen such women. So everywhere you are, just put in your very best and then hold your head high, and definitely you make a mark. And we always tell our women, wherever you are, remember that you are not representing yourself. You are also representing the many millions of women out there. So be a good representative.
Thank you so very much. Abosede Agbe, Deputy State Coordinator, 100 Women Lobby Group. Clara Elaho and Tinu Odubeni members, thank you so very much for coming on this special edition of the International Women's Day 2024 collaboration with Enterprise TV. And that's how far we have come on this special Women's Day broadcast to mark this year's celebration with the theme Inspire Inclusion. For us at Enterprise TV, it's our pleasure to have had this session with women from 100 Women Lobby Group. Thank you very much once again, women. I am Olajumoke Alaode James. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.